Hi, I'm artist Jenny Floravita and welcome back to my art studio. Have you ever tried to paint dahlias? If so, you know they can be tricky flowers to capture in watercolor. I'm going to show you how to quickly capture the essence of an orange dahlia in watercolor in 3 easy steps, and then we'll continue on to practice loose wildflowers and leaves in a beautiful background. Let's get started. So I'm primarily using 2 colors for the orange dahlia, and they are raw sienna and permanent rose, and these are Winsor & Newton Artist Series colors. You could use similar colors if you don't have these exact colors in your palette, if you want to try going out into your garden and painting flowers like this. These techniques will come in handy if you plan to paint outside in your garden, or if you have a complex reference photo like I did here. You can see how I'd simplify it for practice sketch painting in watercolor. I'm alternating wet petals next to dry petals, and this is helping control where the water goes. So if I'm painting a petal, I'm going to make sure it's next to a petal that's dry, and then I'm going back in and I'm adding a little bit of paint that's saturated, and this is where the petals are still slightly wet. And you'll need to learn to experiment with your paper to figure out where that boundary is between too wet and not wet enough for this to happen. So, and you can see it's very methodical work, but it's actually also very relaxing. And I could have stopped soon after this. As you can see, I've already captured the essence of the dahlia. I'm not trying to be photorealistic. I'm just showing you how you can break down a complex idea into simple shapes and values. This part of the painting took half an hour to this point. And I'm letting the fluid nature of water do half the magic for me. The green that I'm using here is permanent sap green. Again, that's a Winsor & Newton Professional Artist Series color. And then I'm bringing in the stem color with just a little bit of the Winsor Dioxide Violet and a little bit of the permanent rose. These are all Winsor & Newton colors that I'm using today. Now I'm going to mix the permanent rose with the Winsor Violet Dioxide, and that's going to give me this in-between pinkish violet color that I'm going to layer on in my next step, and this is going to be step 2, and it's going to be getting just a little bit more detail and contrast within the dahlia. You can see that it's the middle color in that palette there. And even though it looked purple, it's going to layer on and it's going to add a little bit of contrast to the orange tones. And I'm continuing to use some of the raw sienna and permanent rose as well. So I'm being very selective. Less is more. And those would be the two extra tips that I would give for this point in the tutorial. Let's speed up through the end of the dahlia painting, and I'm showing this to you 5 times the speed. You can see that I'm being very expressive with my brushes. I'm doing squiggly lines and I'm going back for clean water, and my dahlia is dry at this point, so all of my paint is coming onto a dry surface, and I'm softening it out with clean water. And if I bring paint in that's a little bit too contrasty, I can soften those edges. I can also dab out with a paper towel. You can see my paper towel is well used in this process. This part of the painting took me another 20 minutes. And I could have stopped at the end of this process. But I'd like to add a background, and I want to show you how you can do that. And I'm going to use the background also as practice. So for step 3, I'd like to show you how to create a free and loose background with wildflowers and leaves that are from the reference photo that I'm showing you. And I'm going to start with this yellow daisy-like flower, and I haven't drawn any of these. I'm allowing my brush to just move freely, and I'm using all the same colors. This painting was made with only 4 colors: the sap green, the permanent rose, the Winsor violet dioxide, and the raw sienna. You could use colors that you have if you don't own these exact pigments. That's absolutely fine. I'm just capturing color and shapes from the reference photo. And like I said, this is practice. I'm not trying to create a masterpiece with the rest of this painting here. I wish I had allowed myself to do more of this type of practice painting in the first half of my art business. It's a very freeing feeling to not feel the pressure to make a piece that you know that you need to sell. So this part of the painting process, you are actually seeing me paint in real time. So my brush is moving very quickly, and I'm just practicing, and I'm just letting the color flow, and I'm letting water do a lot of the work, and I'm keeping my brush moving, and I'm tilting my brush upwards. Sometimes I'm using the fine point, sometimes I'm using the side of the brush. And I do a lot of this type of brush work with both small and big brushes in my largest watercolor landscapes. I've done a lot of really large work in my art business. And you can see these paintings on my website. My larger watercolors are very serious works, and they are very detailed and very accomplished. Thank you for watching my latest painting tutorial. If you found value in this, please subscribe and hit the bell notification and the like button. All of these things help my small YouTube channel to grow. And if you'd like to see more of my art, you can view my painted glass chandeliers. Yes, I make painted glass chandeliers from the glass to the iron fixture. It's a specialty. And I do oil and watercolor paintings and mixed media paintings. You can see these on my website, floravitalights.com.